Hello all, it's James Johnson, aka Sulfur Blade, and I am here with yet another video. So I want to talk about the #1 religion inside of the United States currently. How many people out there think they know what the #1 religion inside the United States currently is? Some of you might be saying, oh, well, Catholic, Protestant, Lutheran, Methodist, Church of Scientology, Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster? No, none of those are right. Absolutely none of them. The #1 current religion inside of the United States is a religion called Intersectionality. And what intersectionality basically is the convergence of different identity groups that are held morally superior to identity groups that fall outside of that intersectionality. And so inside of the US, we are currently seeing intersectionality in just completely blown into record proportions. And this is the exact formula of intersectionality that we are dealing with in the United States. And mind you, the formula of intersectionality can change. It could have 5 circles, it could have 10 circles, it could have 3 circles, and it could have different groups that these circles represent. But for the purposes of the United States, I believe I've narrowed it down into the 4 circles that really matter ultimately in the culture war. And there were multiple ways I could have gone with these circles. Like I could have gone Democrat and Republican, but I just didn't really think that quite felt right, or like it really adequately portrayed the differences. So I went with liberal and authoritarian. And to me, that seems like a much better contrast, in that you can be liberal and be a Democrat, for instance. There's plenty of classical liberals that don't fall within that authoritarian sphere, where they want to censor you, they want to shut down your speech, they want to cancel you. So there's where cancel culture and censorship falls into, is in the authoritarian sphere off to the left. Off to the right, there were different ways I could have summarized this one, but I thought that the simplest and most eloquent way, instead of going, for instance, I could have gone capitalism versus communism. But that's just, that leaves fascism out, that leaves monarchy out, that leaves so many different forms of government. When you really boil it down to what most of these disillusioned kids want, is they oftentimes want equality of outcome. And if you're not sure what equality of outcome is, it's basically a process of taking from the rich to give to the poor, taking a white job from a white person to give to a minority that doesn't have as many of those jobs. Whatever they can do to basically even the playing field, regardless of whether or not that person for the job is the best person for the job, that doesn't matter in equality of outcome. In equality of outcome, it's all about making everyone as equal financially and making everyone as similar as possible. But in a real world, people are different. People have different values. Some people are really smart. Some people are really dumb. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the smart person's more valuable, but it does mean that the smart person is going to have certain opportunities that the dumb person's not going to have. And that's fair, and that's understandable. But under equality of outcome, the dumb person should have just as much opportunity as the smart person. And those are really kind of the differences between equality of opportunity, which is more where the best person for the job gets the job, versus equality of outcome, where it doesn't matter if you're the best person. It depends on all the other factors to try to make the entire community equal, which is an impossible thing to do, and also a racist thing to do, but that's a different story. All right, and down at the bottom we have women and feminism versus men. So this is pretty simple, pretty clear cut. Men are evil, women aren't. That is the new dogma. We got to get rid of the patriarchy. The patriarchy's bad. That's what these people believe, and thus a matriarchy is far more preferable than the patriarchy. And then the top circle is, again, we are creating a religion based off of what is happening in the United States right now. And right now we have the Black Lives Matter movement, where Black Lives Matter protesters are shooting white people because they dare have the audacity to say all lives matter. Yes, this happened just a day ago or two ago in Indianapolis, where a mother was shot in the head 3 times for having the audacity to say all lives matter. And it's not the first. She's not the first white person to lose her life for having a incorrect idea here recently. But she is probably the most stark example of what's going on. And so it really is black versus white, with the whites being the evil people. So the whites are outside of the pie. So if you're going to be really evil, you're going to be a conservative. And how can you best sum up a conservative? A man, Donald Trump, white or orange. So white, orange, man, bad. Believes in equality of opportunity. Trump, definitely. Does he prefer liberal ideas to authoritarian ideas? Most certainly. You can pretty much put every conservative in this. Well, not every conservative, because there are some black conservatives, right? And there are some female conservatives. So you can't put every one of them into the outside, out of the intersectionality circles. But most of the evil people are out there in the whiteness, according to the primary religion that's currently dominating our country. But the perfect people are in the very center, in that pink area where all the circles overlap. Those are the perfect people in today's society, the people that we must idolize and we must look up to as the perfect examples. Who fits in that pink circle? I'll give you a couple examples. AOC. Yes, Miss Ocasio-Cortez fits in that pink circle. Sort of. She's more Hispanic than black, right? But she's kind of dark-skinned. She's almost there. Tlaib, the other member of the squad, she's kind of in that circle, right? There's quite a few black mayors across the country that probably fit in that circle. Who's that crazy lady in Chicago? She'd fit in there. Or the other crazy mayor in Atlanta, she'd fit in there. Sadly, Crazy Nancy doesn't fit in there. Crazy Nancy is part of the yellow, the almost perfect but not quite. But you know, those are still important people too. So you know, Chuck Schumer would fit into the yellow. He's almost perfect, but not quite. Well, no. Would Chuck Schumer fit in the yellow? Let's see here. I think he'd be green, wouldn't he? He'd be authoritarian and equality of outcome. But he doesn't fall into black and white. Alright, well, yeah. There almost needs to be a... Okay, well, these circles kind of screw that up a little bit. So the opposite circles are kind of like 50%. But yeah, you get the idea here. This is what intersectionality is. You're gonna hear a lot of people around the internet, especially as of recently, talk about intersectionality. And this is what they're talking about when they're talking about it. And this is certainly the problem that is plaguing our country right now, is people really believe this pile of horse shit. There are honestly people walking around our country that truly believe that blacks are superior to whites. There are people walking around our country that truly believe that censorship and authoritarian values are more important than liberal values. There are people walking around our country that believe equality of outcome is far more important than equality of opportunity. And there are certainly plenty of women and men walking around our country that believe that women are better than men. And so when you throw all of those circles together, you get the perfect people. Now, when you're trying to get a perfect people, what does that remind you of? Who strove to have a perfect people? Wasn't it Hitler? Didn't he want a perfect race? Was he racist? Oh, most definitely. Are these people in our country racist? Oh, most definitely. They're killing people over this crap. This is the most dangerous cult. This is the most dangerous religion that the United States has ever seen. And it's not just in the United States. It's in all Western countries. It's in England. It's in Australia. It's in Germany, France. The entirety of the West is dealing with this out-of-control runaway religion. And it needs to be stopped. I dare say it's more dangerous than Scientology. Because Scientology, while being a horribly scary religion that is doing horrible things right now, it has limited amounts of resources, and it can only do so many horrible things to so many people. Too many people, which, you know, Scientology is a whole different matter, but this is a worldwide cult. Scientology wishes they had this many followers. Scientology wishes they had this much influence. And these people are truly nuts. These are truly the deplorable people of our society that believe in this intersectionality bullshit. These are the people that we need to speak up against. We need to stand up against. We need to show our patriotic values. We need to put them in our place. We need to love our country, not hate our country. We need to let everyone know that all lives matter, not Black Lives Matter. We need to let everyone know that we're going to be voting for Trump come election day. And America is the greatest country on earth. Anyway, I am James Johnson, aka Sulfur Blade. This is my content, my look at intersectionality. Hopefully you enjoy my little art project. If so, please leave a like and subscribe. And until the next time, all, peace.